What does it mean to become professional in a form of work that is legal yet surveilled? Can training, education, and peer support actually produce empowerment? Or do structural conditions determine what empowerment can be? Today I'm introducing a study that explores these questions through an adult industry-led training program in Germany. The 2024 article by Nadine Gloss, entitled Examining Professionalisation as a Strategy for Sex Worker Empowerment and Mobilisation, looks at a peer education initiative called profiS. At its core, the study asks, can professionalisation function as a real strategy for empowerment within a highly regulated system? Rather than measuring success in simple terms, the research explores how empowerment is produced, negotiated, and limited in practice. To understand why this matters, we need to take a quick look at the German legal context. In Germany, adult industry work is legal for people who have the legal right to work, but most non-EU migrants cannot obtain registration, which effectively excludes them from the formal labor market. Germany operates under a regulatory model. The 2002 law recognized adult industry work as labor, and the 2017 Prostitution Protection Act introduced registration, documentation, and new forms of oversight. So adult industry work is not criminalized, but legal under conditions of visibility, data collection, and bureaucratic control. This is the environment within which professionalization is meant to produce empowerment. This model operates in countries such as Germany, the Netherlands, Austria, Switzerland, Greece, Hungary, Latvia, Turkey, and some parts of Nevada in the United States. In this study, professionalism does not mean corporate standards or formal qualifications. It means building legal knowledge, strengthening autonomy, sharing work practices, and creating collective awareness. In other words, it's a political and educational strategy designed to position adult workers as workers with rights. The study asks a crucial question: what happens when this strategy meets real-world conditions? The researcher used participant observation within the profiS training program. By attending seminars and facilitating a workshop, the study follows how empowerment is taught, discussed, and practiced in real time for German adult industry workers. This approach allowed the researcher to see what the program intended and how it was actually experienced. Rather than offering a simple success story, the article reveals a set of tensions. Professionalization builds critical awareness, encourages solidarity, develops legal literacy, but its efficacy in one's ability to exercise professionalism is shaped by structural realities such as race and culture, language, stigma, status, economic precarity, and oppression. The study also raises a more uncomfortable question. What happens when empowerment projects are funded through public health frameworks that still position adult industry workers as a risk population? Professionalism, regulation, and stigma will collide in challenging ways if adult industry workers are understood as vectors of disease, for example. So this is not just a study about one training program. It speaks to larger debates. Can education produce structural change? What are the limits of rights-based strategies inside regulatory systems without equity of access or the ability to utilize skills? In this case, who has access to empowerment and who does not? Who can use it and who cannot? We need to think critically about empowerment, not just as a catchphrase, but as a process that can be interrupted by power structures, law, and other conditions. So here's a question for you. If empowerment is taught inside systems that control it, can it really be a vehicle for liberation? If you're interested in topics that include collective organizing, labor and recognition, The Politics of Regulation, Participant Observation as a Methodology, or How Empowerment Actually Works in Practice, I strongly recommend this article. This article is not open access. The full citation and link are in the description box. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and I'll see you in the next one.